World's richest man donating $10 billion to fight climate change. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos will start funding initiatives this summer. Correspondent Tim McGuire says Amazon has its own big carbon footprint.
Using fossil fuel to power the planes, trucks, and vans used to deliver billions of packages around the world.
Amazon employees had been demanding action by their founder. Live at the KSL National News Desk, Sean Michael Lyle, KSL News Radio.
Countdown to Super Tuesday. In-depth coverage on KSL News Radio.
We are 2 weeks away from Super Tuesday, and Democrats are lining up to speak to Utah voters. Pete Buttigieg held a town hall last night. Bernie Sanders supporters also had a gathering, and Michael Bloomberg will hold a rally in Salt Lake on Thursday morning.
Countdown to Super Tuesday. Inside Sources host Boyd Matheson joins us live with his insight. Is this because it's not a regular thing that the Democrats come to Utah to stump? Is this because we're in our first ever Super Tuesday?
It is. That's exactly right. So Utah's become more relevant. Used to be we were way at the back of the pack, so it didn't really matter a whole lot. Things were usually decided before Utah ever cast a vote. And so for the Democrats in particular in this cycle, every delegate matters. And for whether it's a Pete Buttigieg or whether it's a Michael Bloomberg, any time you can pick up a couple of delegates gives you staying power and gives you influence going into the national convention, which likely won't be decided on the first ballot.
How many delegates do we have? I don't even know that.
41.
We have 41 delegates. Interesting.
So even if it's just for a bargaining chip at the convention, they want it, right?
Yeah, that's right. And it just gives them a little bit more credibility moving along. And, everyone's looking at the total, what the delegate count is. There'll be over 1,300 delegates are up for grabs on Super Tuesday. And so Utah is just part of a big mix that day. Obviously, California has a massive number, over 400. And so most of the campaigns are going to play there. But again, it's very expensive to do advertising in California and some of those markets. So Utah's a nice place, I think, where people can say, hey, I think we can get some traction there, give us some credibility, and enable us to move forward. It's sort of like March Madness. Survive and advance is sort of the name of the game.
What do you think of Michael Bloomberg on the debate stage tomorrow night?
That is going to be must-see TV. He better wear Teflon, because I think all of them are going to come out against him. He's sort of the anti-Bernie, anti-Elizabeth Warren side of the plate, where he's just spending a lot of money. He's kind of in that billionaire category. So he's got a tough night ahead of him. But you also have to be careful. These other candidates have to be careful. If they are just swinging wildly at him, it will actually elevate him. And he's already risen in a lot of the polls, as you've mentioned. Money may not be able to buy you love, but it can buy you some name ID and a few votes. But then the real test for me with Michael Bloomberg is, can he get people to do something? It's very different. Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren voters, they're part of a movement. They feel like there's a call to action there. And unless you're asking people to do something, actually Mitt Romney struggled with this in his presidential candidacy. People saw big business, big organization. Why would he need me, John Doe, to go pound a yard sign in Columbus, Ohio? And so Michael Bloomberg is going to face that same thing. If people look at Bloomberg and say, well, he doesn't need me, then you don't have that excitement. You don't get that momentum going into the real election.
But boy, all of the other candidates on the stage have one thing in common, and that is they do not want money to buy somebody's way in here.
Yeah, that's right.
So that makes him a big target.
A big target, because all of these other candidates have spent the last year plus going to county fairs in Iowa, eating fried butter and other things on a stick. So they've kind of paid the price. So there's a little bit of resentment there. But again, those other candidates have got to be careful that doesn't come out as anger, frustration, angst, because that's not going to play well either.
Oh, there's so much interest to be coming up. Boyd, thank you. And we'll be listening at 11 o'clock with Inside Sources here on KSL News Radio. 8:37, we'll be back with a look at emergency traffic in 2 minutes.
Hi, I'm Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox. When the IRS invades your life, it's never good news. Keep in mind, it's not just you.
I owed roughly $34,000.
$61,000. When the IRS first contacted me, I was horrified.
When they start hounding you and harassing you and assaulting you.
Don't face the IRS alone. With everything in your life at stake, don't trust just anyone.
From what I got told was being done in a matter of 2 years, he had done in a matter of like 48 hours.
It's a great thing to have the IRS off your back.
We have reduced our tax liability by over $42,000.
Once I signed on with Jordan, I never talked to the IRS again.
It changed our lives.
You need someone to fight for you.